Greetings everyone and welcome to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the stuff in the update. It's not quite Kadaj time just yet. I know what you're all saying. Umbra, Kadaj, water unit. Why are you waiting? Well, I've taken a look at Kadaj and I think that he is quite scary, especially if what comes to pass next week comes to pass. But we're not there quite yet, so let's go through some other things first. There are a slew of upgrades for Limit Burst, so we're going to start off going through that today, and then we're going to move on to just talking about some other stuff in the considerable sizable update. Normally they're not this big. That's what she said. All right, so first off, talking about Limit Burst upgrades, we have to scroll all the way down to the very basin of my collection to talk about this character, Veritas, who is definitely a popular character to some. So I'm not going to say anything bad about him. It's just I chose to spend my resources other places. Excuse me. But I have heard some generally positive things. I've seen this guy used in Arena on pure win-based teams, and yeah, when it comes to Ashen Mont, sometimes the world needs a hero from an unexpected place, and interesting, this character might stand a chance, because Barush is capable of taking some hits, but we need a little bit more than that. Let's talk about his Limit Burst upgrade. So Limit Burst upgrade is AP consumption reduced and range enhanced. So it actually costs less to use this ability now than it previously did. You can see I'm not in a position to unlock this, so I'm not going to even try. But the range has been increased by, it looks like, 1, maybe 2 extra panels in the general diamond pattern that you could choose from. And also, after a certain percent of the target's single attack resistance and reaction activation rate are significantly reduced for 3 turns. So basically that means that single target resistance is being shredded, and we're probably looking at the 60% reaction or counter block rate is also being reduced for 3 turns. You're getting extra large damage now, and if the target has haste and AP automatic restore, damage is greatly increased, and haste and AP recovery effect are removed. So that's a lot from a single ability, and to me, it feels very clear what this ability is targeting Ashen Mont. And yeah, I actually think that this is a fair thing to have around. I think it's generally a good thing to have around. And Barush maybe even can put up a decent fight against Ashen Mont too. It's interesting to see whether or not this is particularly good enough, because yeah, the Limit Burst is strong, but in an automatic setting, whether the AI will actually proctor to that and do what it's supposed to do and whether it works out, probably at the very least a little bit dicey. The Limit Burst here, I think, is giving you a lot of extra value for the resources that you're putting in. Question is on whether it is really good enough for the other part of the current meta to deal with Joom, to deal with Cloud and Sephiroth, as well as, you know, whatever the hell else is coming out over the next little. It seems to me like this is very, very specifically for Ashen Mont only, since it deals so much with Ashen Mont, and I'm still not even convinced that it's going to be enough in the pure way of looking at this, that it kind of deals with one unit specifically and not enough with another. So you need to make sure of your characters are set up properly. But who knows? Maybe this is going to be the third person in the Kadaj Sephiroth menage a trois, where this character might deal with Ashen Monts, whereas Sephiroth and Kadaj deal with everything else. You're capable of getting rid of auto re-raise and guts with that. You're capable of causing the curse status effect. I would not, mock Barush too terribly much if that's the direction you're going. I'm spending a little bit of extra time to say that, you know what? if you do have him, this might be a character to watch for the next little bit, especially for globalers who will have more time to potentially get him ready for Ashen Maw. Anyway, I'm going to put this on my very interested in, but kind of need to see somebody else take the lead and spend the resources. I ain't got them. Next up, let's talk about Wing Stern, another character that is popular in parts of my chat. So let's talk about his limit burst. And the biggest thing to him, AP consumption down, area attack resistance penetration rate for 3 turns. So, you know, we're getting a cheaper limit burst than what it was previously. That's generally nice. Area attack resistance penetration rate is giving him a little bit, but it is not a percentage. So it is only going to be a certain number of it. Good in some cases, decent in some cases, but in other cases, probably not. Removes all of his own debuffs on him and greatly increases weakening resistance rate. The limit burst here is very likely to be cast, so I think this is a fair upgrade. It's not specifically responding to anything in the meta, and it feels too tame. Not that Wing Stern ever felt that overly oppressive, but I'm kind of classifying this as fine, but I'm not exactly rushing out to upgrade this character, and I do have the resources to actually do. So, moving on. Let's head to the last one, which is in the ice category, Mr. Reagan. If I can find, yes, there he is. So on this guy, Limit Burst is now going to be giving a slew of extra bonuses, AP consumption down, and increasing his own healing power. Limit Burst is also now dealing extra large damage, opposed to just large damage, absorbs part of the damage dealt, and seals debuff effects for 3 turns, while also creating a barrier that reduces physical damage for 4 times to self. So yeah, a lot to unpack here in the sense that, kind of interesting. Could throw this character in with Ashen Mont. I think he would also be decent protection against wind elemental characters in that sense. I don't think that Reagan is necessarily a bad character. He's always just been a good character and kind of just needed maybe a little bit more partnership. He never quite got there for just pure ice, but maybe the combination of earth and ice is something that needs to be looked more into. Taking a look at just that you're getting the barrier there, you're getting removing your opponents doing any kind of debuffs on you is kind of interesting. Gives him a little bit of healing and increases his own healing power, which is useful in his kit. I think that this is another good limit burst, but taking a look at the 3 limit burst upgrades that we have here, if I was to only pick one, I'm going to pick for rushes because it answers a specific concern currently on JP, but maybe not even necessarily well enough to really deal effectively with what is currently needed on JP. I'm going to say that out of all of them, yeah, Barush is my top one, Reagan's my second, and Wing Stern I think is fine, but a little bit unexciting, whatever that's worth. All right, moving on, let's talk about this character, Wotv Veritas, who is actually gotten her limit burst now, and just because I'm such a fan of Wotv Veritas, I've already increased it to max, because why the hell not? So 69 AP cost on this one. This limit burst is a big AoE and does actually have pretty decent range on it. Range is actually quite high, so it's kind of nice, and you're getting some extra oomph with your attack. You're getting Spirit down for 3 turns. You're also getting AoE resistance down for 3 turns. I did a little bit of a test on it on Joom earlier. The AoE was set to 22 previously, and seems to have went down by a factor of 30 points. So that's basically the amount of AoE. I don't think it's as good as just AoE Shred, but sometimes flat numbers do actually work out pretty nicely. And interestingly was Spirit, which at this point I'm not entirely sure, and I want to see the Wotv calc, if Wotv calc is correct. as of the time of this recording, it's just not up for JP. So I'm out doing the research early on, and we'll find out if it's just bugged later. But anyway, June was set to 13 spirit before, and went down to negative. What was it? I want to say that I wrote it down here somewhere. It was 13 before and negative 25 after. So I'm not entirely sure where those numbers come from, how it is calculated out, because maybe I'm just dense. Maybe I'm just focusing on thinking about Kadaj. Damn, Kadaj, he just haunts my dreams. But either way, the limit burst seems pretty interesting. It is a big AoE, it is quite capable for mages, and it does support other mages doing their thing. So I'm quite happy to see that it is at least focused on that. And I am hoping that it's going to be enough to kind of push Wotv Veritas to be interesting, especially because I finally got her to 140. Okay, so we'll jump back to Wotv Veritas's limit burst in a second, but I do want to highlight something on JP that might be interesting for globalers, which is, hey, do you have 6k free lapis? Well, JP is going to be having one of these multi-step up banners where step 1, step 2, just multi-pulls, and you also get about 320 replacement for UR orbs in there, so enough to upgrade a limit burst, or sorry, vision card quite nicely. And step 3, you actually get to select a vision card. It's been a very long time since we've seen a selector of vision cards. By all accounts, it seems like it is up to everything except Dark Titan. So if it's following JP's release pattern in a month, you should see this, and it should be the same thing for you guys. Taking a look at the paid option, however, we can also see that Dark Titan is not on here. But if we scroll all the way down, a lot of shiny holo vision cards. So if there's a specific holo vision card you are looking for, it might be on this list. Interestingly, one of the ones that I don't see on here is the Volk card, where Volk and Lucio are picking apples. I thought that was a permanent vision card, but it doesn't seem to be here. Either way, for 2k paid, you're getting the multi-pull with the vision card of your choice, and it is going to be level 99, which means you don't need to go shard hunting, which is, in my opinion, these are always really great for 90 cost vision cards if you're a mid-tier spender, because essentially you're getting a potentially a powerful Esper and that. In other senses, these might be generally okay for people who are looking for just holo vision cards. Since you can't use the star system to get shards for these vision cards, might be a decent way of getting a 99 holo vision card, but only if it's specifically going to give you a lot of value. Personally, for me, as you can see, there isn't too terribly much on here that is really scratching an itch, except maybe the Ultros card, which I'm annoyed I still haven't gotten. But anyway, all right, so that is essentially a look at a bunch of stuff in JP. There might be a few more things. I do think there's also just down here, if you want to spend a bunch of gold, hey, let's do this. What's this? Let's do it right now. Why not? Umber's spent a ton of gold. It's not like you can take it with you once the game ends of service. So let's just skip through it. All those animations are very nice. Oh, interesting. It goes up 10%. Are we just going to keep doing this? We're going to waste a shitload of gold? You damn well bet your sweet biscuit we are. And no, I did see a question in my chat. I am live recording this, but it is not 10 URs. It is just a single select UR and another 9 slots. In other words, meaning that you can get more URs, you can get less, but the big highlight for 2k paid is essentially you're getting a single vision card of your choice up to 99. So yeah, we're going all the way to the UR pity. Why not? And if I was smart about this, I probably would have you know, disabled animation. But how many times do you get to see gold books when you're doing pulls in Wotv? Not very often from my experience. Aha, slight dig at Wotv. And the last thing we're going to be doing, we're going to take a look at Veritas' animation, because it's not exactly the easiest thing, and the Veritas units are one of my favorite things. So I do like to celebrate when we get a limit burst, when we get a new character, when we get any of that kind of stuff, because it is generally fun. All right, we're almost there. Almost there. 1 billion gold down the tubes. Thankfully, it is Golden Week, so gold farming probably going to happen. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. We've spent so much money to get here. And we're still skipping the animation, just because. Freaking incredible. We could have gotten anything from 10 to 555. But how much you want to bet that the odds of the 555 are smaller than your chances of drawing Sephiroth on May 1st, if you're a JP player. 1 month later for globals. Anyway, let's jump in. We are going to head all the way back to one of the easiest missions possible. And then we are going to do the Water Veritas thing. No, not 10. That map. And one more thing, just to make sure that the animation plays out properly. Let's do that. Oh yeah, there's Kadaj. You'll see him in a future video. All right, see? There's our Water Veritas. Let's go! I certainly hope I don't have auto on, but it... Oh no, I picked the wrong map. That's fine. It's not like I... Oh god, we're recording this too. That's unfortunate. Oh god, look how slow the animation's. Oh, who thought this was a good idea? All right. Speed up. Nobody's doing anything. This is the Water Veritas show. It's unfair, but such is life. Who built this map? They idiots? Now, because I'm compulsively paranoid after everything that we've done so far, we're going to drop the speed down to 0. All right, here it is. Finally time. Let's go. Oh, and I do realize that June image was on there the whole time. Well, that's foreshadowing. And there you go. There it is. So there you go. You have seen Water Veritas' Limit Burst. Next up, I guess, will be Earth Veritas. However, given how slow that is apparently on JP, yes, that is going to be a complaint video very shortly. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.